Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. My name is Munal Jundi, and I'll be the MC for the evening. Welcome everybody to CAIR's 14th annual, CAIR Michigan's 14th annual dinner. I think that you guys got lucky that I'm the MC because, you know, for those of you who know me, I have the gift of gab. And lucky for you, there's a long program, so I'm going to have to speed things up to get started, so you won't have to be listening to me too much. First of all, I wanted to recognize some special guests that we have here. So when I call your name, if you can just sort of stand and wave to the crowd, that would be greatly appreciated. We have Professor Ann Rawl from Eastern Michigan University. We have Elisa Perkins from Western Michigan University, professor. Let's see where she is. We have Brian Whiston, the superintendent of Dearborn Public Schools. We have Linda Sarsour, the National Advocacy Director for the National Network of Arab American Communities. We have Nadia Tanova, the Director of the National Network of Arab American Communities. She's walking in. And we have Hanan Hashim from U of M Dearborn, MSA President. So first, I just wanted to begin by introducing the CAIR President, and I should call him the new daddy, the new Baba, Haris Ahmed. I went to university with Haris, so you know, I can go through a long bio about him. He's an attorney, he's an entrepreneur, he's a social activist. He's involved in many things here in the state of Michigan. We were in university together. He's friends with my husband, Jawad, and Jawad says this, you know, every month he'll say, you know, oh, I'm going to be late, you know, tonight because I've got this, you know, Islamic study circle I'm going to. And I know he's just going to hang out with Haris. And they get together and they discuss all of these issues. They discuss, you know, economics, Flint, Detroit, you know, revitalization issues. They discuss, you know, organizing Muslim communities. So I can't say enough about Haris. He's a friend. I've known him, and he's somebody that I trust, and I think he does a stellar job. Without further ado, please, Haris Ahmed.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. May the peace and blessings of God be upon all of you. It's great to see you here again for our annual celebration or our look back on the year and the state of Muslims and the state of our civil rights. So, you know, this year is especially, or is actually very special for me, of course, because what I mentioned. We had a son on March 29th, 2014. So, thank you. By the blessings of God. So this is our first son after 3 daughters. And just as a caveat, if I'd had 3 boys, I would have tried for the girl. So it's not anything special just because of the gender. But you know, but the thing that was interesting was that Amin was born exactly 12 years from the time that my firstborn was born. He was actually born on my eldest, my 12-year-old, her birthday. She was turning 12 that day, and you know, my wife went into labor, and you know, sure enough, he was born on that day. And it got me thinking because at the time of 9/11, my firstborn was actually in my wife's womb, and she was in the womb. And so she was part of that first generation of that post 9/11 generation. And that really hit me hard. Obviously, 9/11 hit us very hard in many ways, but I had to think about the fact that my first child, was going to come into a very different world than that which I grew up in, a very different world. And it really got me thinking. And in fact, that is how I got involved with CAIR Michigan. I was approached, at that time I had just gotten out of law school, and I was, you know, I had some options that I was considering, and of course, you know, this happened, and I was approached. And so I had to think about what type of world is this child going to come into? And am I just going to sit back and just accept whatever comes? Now, of course, everything's up to God, but He expects us to act. And I decided, look, this is the way that I'm going to get involved and try to change things and make sure and ensure that my children live in a world where they actually have the ability to practice their faith and to be positive citizens in this great community and nation of ours. But 12 years later, we look at the world that Amin is coming into. And there are definitely challenges. I look back at it, and I look now, and I see that there are challenges. There's many challenges, whether they be legal or physical attacks on our houses of worship or our community members, whether they be slander by some Islamophobes or media outlets, or other forms of challenges. We have many challenges. There's no doubt about that. And that's what CAIR-Michigan is doing. CAIR-Michigan is always working, along with many other great institutions. I'm not one, and we're not one to say that we're the only institution that does everything and anything. There's some other great institutions. But CAIR-Michigan is definitely at the forefront. I've seen this. And actually doing a lot of this stuff behind the scenes, working against some of the attacks that are out there. But Amin also comes into a world where we have a Muslim female state legislator in Rashida Tlaib. Yes, you should applaud. He comes into a world where we have a Muslim female judge here in Michigan, Charlene Elder. He comes into a world where we have 2 Muslim congressmen, in Keith Ellison and Andre Carson. And he comes into a world where we have Muslim filmmakers who are having feature films in mainstream theaters, such as Ajmal Zahir Ahmed with the Jinn movie and Sam Qadi with the Citizen. And he also comes into a world where we have got many, many other talents that have shown their talent and been recognized for that, whether they be authors, whether they be playwrights, lawyers, doctors, whatnot. We even have a Muslim Miss Marvel now coming out. I mean, we have a comic book hero, or heroine in this case, which is even more remarkable, and she's Muslim. Miss Marvel is now Muslim. And most recently, we have an inductee into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, Yusuf Islam, known as Cat Stevens. Yes. So this is definitely the optimistic side of things. But this is the side that we really should cling to. Because that's, at CAIR-Michigan, there's a lot of discussion, there's a lot of fear out there, there's a lot of negative out there, but if you look at these things, these are great accomplishments, these are great signs of progress within our society, within our country, and within our nation. And that's the side that we should cling to. It's not that we should ignore the challenges, we have to deal with the challenges, and that's what CAIR is here for, but we're also here, and primarily we're here to facilitate that positive environment, and to build upon that positive environment, to create an atmosphere, by the grace of God, that allows us to tell our stories, that allows our communities to flourish. And by communities, I mean not just the Muslim community, I mean the other communities that we interface with. And that's what CAIR is here for. Now, Amin also is born into the 50th anniversary year of the Civil Rights Act. And that is a very significant milestone. The Civil Rights Act of 1964. Now this act, and we thank our African American brothers and sisters for this, Muslim and non-Muslim, as well as our Jewish and Christian and others who were involved in passing this act. It took a lot. It wasn't just the legislators who passed it. It wasn't just Lyndon B. Johnson. It was the work of all of the civil rights activists and those who supported them that came before that. A lot of blood, sweat, and tears. So we should always be mindful of that. And perhaps now, reflecting on it at this time that we're in, the Muslim community and the immigrant community may have been or may be the biggest recipients of the benefits of that law at the moment. But that's as it should be. This American experiment, or this American nation or project, it was contemplated when it was formed by the founders. It was contemplated that Muslims explicitly would be part of this venture. Thomas Jefferson, it's not as if he did not know what a Muslim was. He explicitly, one of his mentors was John Locke, not mentors, one of his, the luminaries that he studied. They were not in the same time. is a 17th century philosopher, John Locke, had already talked about this, the inclusion of Muslims as citizens and having the rights and the rights extended to them, the rights and liberties of the state. Thomas Jefferson embraced that. And that was embodied in the Bill of Rights. So Muslims have been part of that Bill of Rights as well as other faiths from the very beginning. And so this is just an extension of that. And CAIR-Michigan are in a way carrying on that Jeffersonian and that principle of the Founding Fathers. Now, the Founding Fathers were not perfect by any means. Just ask our African American brothers and sisters. But that principle in and of itself, CAIR is carrying that mantle. So that is why, whether we are Muslim or not, whether you're part of this community or not, we should support CAIR and CAIR-Michigan, because we are standing up for that principle. We have faith in freedom, and that's what CAIR-Michigan is here to do. Thank you very much.
MashaAllah. So I want to recognize some more guests that we have with us, and then I'll introduce the next presenter. We have Anil Kumar, who's running for the 11th District. He was here, he stepped out. We have Bobby McKenzie, if you can just stand and wave, who's also running for the 11th District. We have Tony Trupiano, a radio host and candidate for the 13th District of Michigan State House. Can you stand and wave? I don't see him. We have Ron Scott from the Detroit Coalition Against Police Brutality. We have Usama Siblani from the Arab American News. We have Wali Jaydan from the Middle Eastern Broadcast and Radio. We have Darren Nichols from the Detroit News. Nabiha Ayad, from the president of Arab American Civil Rights League. Dr. Nasib Fawaz, the founder of the Arab American Chamber of Commerce. And we also have Hajja Najah Bazzi, the president of Zaman International. So the next individual I'm going to ask, the next CAIR-Michigan staff, is Warda Kalim. She is the coordinator for Safe Spaces for CAIR-Michigan. The mission of Safe Spaces is to produce and adopt policies that positively affect the American Muslim community through education, dialogue, and cooperation. She's from Australia. She's educated in US and Australian law. Please welcome Warda Kalim.
Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters, honored guests. Safe Spaces is a relatively new and important endeavor in CAIR-Michigan's ultimate goal. So what Safe Spaces philosophy is it's essentially approaching institutions in a friendly, cooperative manner, and we agree on mutually acceptable and agreeable policies. We engage in education and dialogue and discuss the benefits of implementing religious-friendly policies. We also provide resources to the institutions we work with to help them implement these policies. This proactive approach has several benefits. Firstly, we're able to engage in a positive discussion and address any issues or concerns the institutions have while voicing our concerns. We also help them implement these policies by providing them the requisite tools they might need. And then we stay with them throughout the whole process. We speak with them after, we engage with them after, and this approach has lasting results. So some of the institutions we've worked with in the last 12 months include schools, universities, correctional facilities, police departments, businesses, and libraries. And we've essentially created safe spaces in these institutions that we work, learn, and live in. So for example, with schools, which has been a huge part of our work, we've been working with multiple school districts to implement policies that positively affect our children. These policies include a quiet reflection space for our students to pray individually, a halal and vegetarian diet in the school cafeteria, Ramadan accommodation, and also religious holidays such as Eid without academic penalty. We proactively worked with Melvindale and Northern Allen Park School District to help implement these policies. And all of these policies, alhamdulillah, have been implemented. So we thank you, Melvindale. We hope to continue this relationship. As you know, we also have Superintendent Brian Whiston here from Dearborn Public School. Thank you for joining us and supporting us as always. We also successfully worked with Crestwood School District in Dearborn Heights with parents and students to help implement a halal food option in their school cafeteria. Although the community petitioned to implement halal food, the community was met with a lot of resistance over the years, despite a majority student population. CAIR Michigan worked with the school and concerned parents to help implement this long-awaited halal food option in all 5 school districts within the school, and we're happy to see our children have this halal food option every day throughout the school year, alhamdulillah. It's these types of policies that positively impact our children and students, and they're a stepping stone in the right direction for future generations, inshallah. This year, we've also expanded our scope to universities. We worked with Oakland University, with the dean and students there to help revive a reflection room that was no longer used. Today, the new reflection room is totally reimagined. It's actively used by staff and students, and after the reflection room was implemented, the dean invited myself and our executive director, Dawood, to come and speak with professors, deans, and administrators on diversity issues and issues relating to Muslims as well as accommodation. And it's this kind of ongoing relationship that is very unique to safe spaces. It's the positive ongoing relationship that we continue. With police departments, for example, in our ongoing effort with law enforcement, we have facilitated the implementation of halal food at Dearborn Heights Police Department, and we will continue to engage other statewide police departments in further encouraging the cooperation of law enforcement with our Muslim constituents. On a very local community level, we've also worked with a number of libraries throughout Michigan as part of the Muslim Journeys program and other various programs that they hold. For example, we were part of the kickoff event, various panel discussions and other programs, and it's these types of programs that are key to educating our community. And as you know, most businesses know that it's really good policy to have religious-friendly policies in place. So they're happy to work with us in a non-adversarial manner. So for example, we were recently contacted by Home Depot here in Southeast Michigan to provide sensitivity training. We discussed cultural awareness, customer interactions, modesty in Islam, and highlighted religious accommodation issues for their employees. Home Depot contacted us. This was done by their own willingness to better serve their customers and employees. So the extent of our policies don't just come from within, they also come from outside avenues. And last year, if you recall, I talked about Calhoun County Correctional Facility and how they implemented a range of Muslim-friendly policies such as halal food, Ramadan accommodation, a gender-sensitive environment, copies of the Quran. We've continued that ongoing relationship. Captain Lee Zick and the Correctional Facility have continued to consult us on a range of issues. We have Captain Lee Zick here with us again today. Thank you for joining us. We've also worked with other correctional facilities throughout the state to provide halal food, Ramadan accommodation, and copies of the Quran. So lastly, I'd just like to emphasize, as a community, CAIR Michigan really is our most important grassroots organization. As Harris said, we do have a number of them, but CAIR is definitely up there. But despite our proactive approach in instituting these policies, we need your help. We need your voices to further our efforts. If you have concerns or particular institutions or workplaces that you think could benefit from safe spaces, please do not hesitate to contact us. Let us know. We're here for you. Inshallah, with your help and support, we'll continue to grow. Thank you, President Harris, Dawood, Lena, Nargis, our board interns, all of you here today. This is very much a team effort. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum and jazakallah khair.
Those of us that have been CAIR Michigan supporters for years, I think sort of remember the, I would say, reactionary mode, the post-September 11th era that Hadis talked about, where, you know, there's a violation and there was an organization, CAIR Michigan, that was here to respond to that. But I think the great advantage of a program like the Safe Spaces is that it's long-term. It's talking about preventing those violations by increasing awareness and increasing comfort, people's interaction with the Muslim community. So, you know, I just wanted to say that, you know, Warda, you're doing a great job, and CAIR Michigan is doing a great job in that. Alhamdulillah. Next, I wanted to introduce Laila Amin, who's going to be giving the Rosa Parks Scholarship. Laila Amin is Vice President of CAIR Michigan. She's served as the on the CAIR Michigan board for 10 years. She's employed at the District Community Liaison for Bilingual and Compensatory Education and Special Needs with Dearborn Public Schools. I'm looking around and I don't see where Laila is. Oh, there you are. Without further ado.
Assalamu alaikum. Peace be upon you. I was just sort of waiting to see how much more she was going to say about me, and I got all happy about that. This is going to be very short and sweet. First of all, CAIR Michigan is very proud to take advantage of assisting students who wish to further their education. We're always happy to do whatever it is that we are able to. This year we have 2 recipients for the Rosa Parks Scholarship, and I'm hoping that they're here. Our first recipient is from Sterling Heights Henry Ford II High School. She's going on to Northwestern University, and this is for Miss Gwendolyn Gissendanner. I hope I said that correct. Is she here? Gwendolyn? I will hang on to that. We will have that sent to her. And our second recipient, and he was on the road just a short time ago, is for a young man who is from Crestwood High School going on to University of Michigan, and we also would like to honor him with a scholarship, Muhammad Turfi. Yes. Yay. We wish for all of our scholarship recipients to further their education on a regular basis. CAIR has been able to do this for our high school seniors at the very least, and we're proud to do so. Thank you.
Next, I'm going to introduce Lena Mosely, who's also a personal friend and I've known for many years, and we sort of worked together a little bit more closely in the past couple of years when the CAIR Michigan office began assisting Syrians here in the U.S. in their asylum applications. She was very active in that. She's the staff attorney for CAIR Michigan, and she focuses her practice mainly in the area of civil rights litigation. Prior to joining CAIR, she worked in different areas: national security, international law, genocide. She's also, along with CAIR Michigan, she volunteers for the Family Law Assistance Project, the Legal Aid Defender Association, representing victims of domestic violence. So without further ado, please welcome Lena Mosely.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I'm both humbled and honored to welcome you to our 14th annual banquet. Over the last 5 years, as staff attorney for CAIR Michigan, I've sought to utilize litigation as a tool to not only defend our civil rights and civil liberties, but to proactively challenge discriminatory policies and to implement laws that positively impact the Muslim community and the community at large. Moreover, we've sought to utilize litigation to confront the threat of heavily funded right-wing organizations whose sole purpose is to, quote, confront the threat of Islam and to render Muslims second-class citizens. Last year, I shared with you a story that really is a testament to the significance of our work and the impact of our organization. A renowned Islamophobe was scheduled to speak at an event at a public school. Our executive director, Dawood Walid, reached out to the public school and requested that they drop the speaker from the event. Instead, the entire event was canceled. A number of Islamophobe organizations joined forces and filed a lawsuit against our organization, including Republican National Committeeman Dave Egema, who is the architect of anti-Sharia legislation, and Act for America President Pamela Geller. In a statement to a radio talk show, one of the attorneys from the Thomas More Law Center said that the reason they filed this lawsuit against our organization is because, and I quote, CAIR is a very powerful organization. Last year, I made a promise to you that we would fight back and defend our rights to free speech and to petition our government. Today, I'm proud to announce that we did just that. A federal judge dismissed the lawsuit at the earliest possible stage. Over the last 3 years, we've enjoyed significant success in a series of landmark lawsuits, challenging laws on issues ranging from religious profiling while traveling, to religious accommodation in prisons, to denying Muslims the right to build Islamic institutions. We filed a lawsuit that challenges religious discriminatory policies and practices at the borders. Post 9/11, Muslims have been religiously profiled and subjected to hours of detention for the sole purpose of being asked questions about their religious beliefs and practices. Questions ranging from how many times a day they pray, to which mosque they pray at, to which sect of Islam they adhere to. Today, I'm proud to announce that in a landmark decision, a federal judge has, for the first time in history, allowed a lawsuit challenging discriminatory policies against the FBI and Border Protection authorities to move forward.